What is up, NFC East football fans, and welcome into another edition of the NFC East Roundtable powered by Sleeper. Folks, we did it. We have made it to week one. We are officially just over 48 hours away from the start of the 2025 NFL season. The wait is over. And on tonight's episode, we dive into week one, the matchups coming your way within the NFC East, including, of course, the game that kicks everything off on Thursday Night Football between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. And speaking of those Dallas Cowboys, we have plenty more to talk about tonight than just week one. What else is new? So in order to do it, let's bring in the gang. J Tuck, Simone, KB, Rio. J Tuck, I say it every week. I say, why do you do it to me? Why do you got to give me my lead?
Like ladies first or something?
I know.
I thought that was like a rule or something. Simone,
Here's the problem. J Tuck, here's the problem. If we go ladies first next week, that more than likely means the Philadelphia Eagles beat your Dallas Cowboys, and we got to start with it. But unfortunately, you know the drill. Tonight, we got to talk about the biggest trade in some time here. One of the biggest moves we've seen in a very, very long time. We thought that in standard Jerry Jones fashion, that Micah Parsons would remain a Dallas Cowboy. We've seen this before. We've seen Jerry kind of have his struggles retaining guys until all of a sudden he doesn't. He gets the publicity from it. Then those guys end up staying around. This ended up not being the case with Micah Parsons. He is gone. To the smiles of Simone, KB, and Rio, perhaps the chagrin of J Tuck, he is a Green Bay Packer.
Long live Jerry Jones, first of his name. Long may he reign. Shout out to the Cowboys, man.
Rio, you reminded me of that video. Rio, that video of the Eagles fans running into Jerry Jones pregame saying, "We extend Jerry, we love you, Jerry. You're killing it. You're killing it." I saw it again today, and I think this is probably why. Because
all heroes don't wear capes, baby.
So we're gonna get the reaction from everybody, of course. But J Tuck, I'm gonna start with you. This kicked off the holiday weekend here. What were your initial thoughts? Because I'm sure you thought at some point this was going to get done. Not only did it not get done, but Micah Parsons is no longer a Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah, man. I remember I was driving, headed to Arrowhead Stadium to cover the Cincinnati Bearcats versus the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and I got hit with numerous phone calls like, yo, it's about to get crazy. I'm like, what do you mean it's about to get crazy? Like, Micah's about to get traded. I'm like, traded where? And then the news broke that Micah Parsons was traded to the Green Bay Packers. And my initial thoughts is I felt sick because not only did you trade Micah Parsons, you also gave him to an opponent that you can't beat. You gave him to a team that owns you. And so when it comes down to this conversation point I was having with numerous people in the back channels was egos got in the way, right? Jerry Jones had set in his mind that, yo, I am not paying him play on this fifth-year option or else. Micah Parsons, really wanted to stay in Dallas. I know he put out the tweets and everything, but we know how it goes. Every player scrubs their social media, takes their team off their Instagram, and they were trying to get this deal done because I know Micah Parsons reached out to his agent and Dave Mulugeta and say, listen, bro, we are days away from playing against the Eagles. I need to get back on the field, make this happen. So Dave reached out to Jerry, try to work out the conversations, the negotiations. Jerry said, play on the fifth year or leave. And so it was a situation where they decided to pursue other options in the Green Bay Packers. So it's unfortunate because now it's to live in a world in the NFC East that's ran by the two Carter boys and Frankie Louvu, thinking back, man, I used to have me one of those. You know what I'm saying? So now we're going to be doing mock drafts and stuff with KB here shortly, trying to figure out how do we get disruptive defensive game changer when we had the best in the league. Micah Parsons deserved every dollar that he got. Now, a lot of people are freaking out saying, oh, they gave him $47 million. No, what also happened is, one, the Green Bay Packers, they signed this extension as a linebacker, so that added an extra $2 million. And, of course, they were so happy and excited that they got Micah Parsons and stolen from Jerry Jones, they put a little extra in the bag, So I don't think that $47 million was what Micah was going for. The Green Bay Packers was just extremely appreciative of him coming to Green Bay. They gave him number one, a number that hasn't been worn since, 1923, from Lambeau. Like, they are ecstatic that they have him. Now, the Dallas Cowboys did get Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark is a good player, but I feel like he's not a player that's going to keep any of these offensive coordinators up at night. No one's saying, oh my God, the Cowboys got Kenny Clark and now we got to. No, Micah Parsons was that guy that even if you didn't respect the Dallas Cowboys as a franchise, you respected him and you had to know where he was at all times. So I don't know, man. It still feels surreal. Especially as a Mavs fan too. So I lost Luka and Micah back to back. But I think it was just a contractual situation where, there was a difference on Jerry wanted a 5-year deal. Dave and Micah wanted a 4, of course. Now it's funny, they're signing all these players from Osa Digiazua to Deron Bland the other day. Everybody's getting a 4-year deal, but when Micah asked for it, it was like, no, take a 5-year deal or else. So I think what really got in the way, like I said, just two powerful egos collided. And when you're going against Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, it's very rare you win that battle because a lot of people have to understand. I know you guys watched the documentary. I still ain't watching it. I ain't like, no.
Hey, that's on good, man. I'm telling you, man. Go ahead and find you some peace.
I want to watch the documentary on Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Let me watch that on Thursday, right?
You don't want to watch that documentary.
Yeah, I don't think I want to either. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't want to watch that junk.
It was just one of those things where people have to understand Jerry Jones is crazy enough to do it. I mean, he's fired, Tom Landry to Jimmy, Johnson to even Mike McCarthy last year because the Mike McCarthy thing, because of contractual years. I think Micah Parsons just felt like, oh, they wouldn't do it to me. And Jerry Jones said, you dare me, bro? And he did the unthinkable. And so here we are going to Philadelphia without our most disruptive player on our team, and we'll see how it all shakes out.
J-Tech, I'm going to let you close this out for us because I got a couple more questions about it for you. We'll do that in a minute, but I want to get these guys' thoughts on this as well because this is blockbuster. I mean, this is major. And, of course, to a team like Green Bay, right, bounces Dallas out of the playoffs not all that long ago in crazy fashion, right, where Dallas just looked like they were the inferior team from the jump all the way through. Now they add a guy that, like you just mentioned, you get a couple first-round picks, but this is a generational guy. You could only hope one of those picks could become even slightly what Micah Parsons was becoming and has become in the league. So I'm going to get more thoughts from you in a second. But let's go to Simone because, look, you start the season off against these Dallas Cowboys, right? And not only did you probably feel confident, Simone, I think you probably feel even a little more confident right now in the Eagles going up against these Cowboys, not only without Micah Parsons, but also with the locker room dealing with the idea that this guy is now gone and no longer part of the team. Simone, your initial reaction when Micah Parsons is traded away from the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, I was shook. I thought, Tuck told us last week he was staying. So I'm like, Tuck said he's staying. He's staying, so I was shook. Like I was gagged. I didn't know what to think or say. I'm trying to record my video and I'm not like, no words are coming out of my mouth. I'm just like pressing the button. I thought he was going to get paid. I thought this was our routine Dallas offseason drama. It's going to be some drama every offseason. Just pick your player. You know what I mean? This time it was Micah Parsons' turn. So I just knew he was going to get paid at the buzzer. Obviously had mixed emotions because, we were beating Dallas with or without Micah Parsons. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But now we have more trouble in Green Bay. So it's kind of like you're like celebrating, woo, doo, 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 doo. And then like when stuff really hits you, it's like now for the long road, Green Bay is going to only get stronger and stronger and stronger and be, a bigger threat to us. So it's just like, I wish y'all would have shipped him like the Falcons or something. You know what I mean? Like,
the Carolina Panthers call. I mean, you know how premium those two Carolina Panthers picks would have been?
AFC. Why is he in the conference?
But giving him to the Packers, I don't like that.
It's crazy.
I'm glad we don't got to see Micah twice, but we know the Packers are going to be a team we're going to see in the playoffs these next couple of years and all that. So, I'm a Virgo, so I'm always thinking of like a negative or like overanalyzing, but I'm like, I feel like this gonna come back to bite like us.
You might as well just send him to the Commanders and give Dan Quinn since we're doing all that. Like
that's what I'm saying. like for real, send him to the AFC, man.
Well, it's funny because the one thing I did see from that documentary at that Green Bay loss, Jerry went over and talked to Micah and said, it's not your fault. And then Jerry said, this is the worst loss in franchise history. Yeah. Then you go and help him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I noticed that clip too. I mean, it was kind of odd because when do you say that to anybody, really? But the fact that it was him, he singles him out. Simone, you made a really good point, though. It's not like they shipped him to a bottom feeder who had a stack of picks that would have been really good picks for Dallas, right? It's not like they send him to the AFC. They send him to a contender in the NFC. Speaking of contenders in the NFC, Rio, your Commanders are one of them. So, and I know that still never gets old to you, by the way. I know you love hearing that. But talk to me. I know you also love hearing that the Dallas Cowboys no longer had Micah Parsons on the roster. Give me your initial reaction when you saw the news.
I went live like that was my team breaking news. I went live for a couple hours after it broke because it's a celebration in my city and in all three of our cities that are not Dallas because the best defensive player in the division is not here anymore. The best defensive player in the division was just shipped. I hate that he went to a conference contender. That's very Jerry Jones. Like, you can't win a pissing contest with Jerry. Jerry is he's going to outstream you every time. And what I've learned about Jerry, and it's why I laughed at the notion that he would consider hiring Primetime as the Cowboys coach, is nobody's star is allowed to shine brighter than Jerry's in old Jerry world. He has to be the biggest star of the show. And this should not have surprised me as much as it did. We were shout out to Ricky Scoops for pretty much telling us
doubt
that
Pretty Ricky.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
He'd been calling all types. He called the Terry situation here, and he called this. He said the Packers got an aggressive deal on the table, and a lot of us was just scoffing. They're not going to trade Micah Parsons to the Packers.
Right.
Not only did they have him traded, that extension was completed because that's what happens when you have a super agent like David Mulugeta over at Athletes First. They don't play any games over there, but listen, you're not going to hear any complaints from me about Micah Parsons not being in the division. Micah Parsons had Jaden in the Matrix 2 times last year. Like, he had him in the Matrix in a
coming back off
game.
Injury.
Yes. Like, listen, Jaden is top 2 fastest quarterbacks in the league. Micah was running stride for stride with that boy. Like, forget the broken ribs game the first time we played Dallas. Week 18, we didn't need the starters to play because we had already clinched, but we got the starters up out the game because Parsons looked like he about to have 7 sacks on Jaden that day. He was just wrecking it. I'm so happy. Hey, Donovan Ezeraku, big fan. I thought you were going to be nice coming into the league. Big shoes to fill. Dante Fowler Jr., we didn't give you the bag. Your job just got so much more important. You know the meme. You know the meme. I just became more important than I thought at work, and it's ruining my life. Dante Fowler Jr., Donovan Ezeraku, y'all got big shoes to fill in Dallas, and I'm so glad number 11 is out of the division. Not looking forward to seeing Micah on a short week because next week we play them. We play them on Thursday. We play them 9 days from today at Lambeau Field. Yes, we got the Packers at Thursday night next week.
Have
and
fun.
we play them in 4 weeks.
But it's all good because Micah is currently in labor and getting epidural shots right now. So he's probably going to be on a pitch count these first couple weeks of the season. But shout out to Jerry Jones for fumbling royally. And I think these are some of the residual effects of Dak getting all that money too. So I love that for y'all. Shout out once again to the Dallas Cowboys documentary. I need Tuck to lock in and watch it because it's phenomenal television. And that's what's going to give him life through this season because it might get rough for them over there. But the rest of the teams in the division, we salute to y'all. Long live Jerry Jones. Long may he reign and never shall he perish.
Well, I know KB's feeling good because he's sitting back thinking, man, I might have the best Nittany Lion in the division able to get after the quarterback now with Abdul Carter. That's how KB's feeling with Micah Parsons leaving the Dallas Cowboys. So give me your thoughts, KB. Parsons traded. Your thoughts on him getting sent out of the NFC East when we all thought it was inevitable he was going to be retained here at some point.
Yeah, to Z-Bot's point, I mean, there wasn't enough space in the NFC East for Micah Parsons and Abdul Carter, so something had to give. Now Abdul Carter is here taking Micah's spot as that freak out of Penn State, rushing the passer, so I'm happy about it. I was celebrating. That makes it a lot more interesting in week 2 against the Cowboys. Right after Washington, we go to Jerry World to play the Dallas Cowboys, so hopefully, we're looking like a 2-0 type team to start the season. So we'll see what happens. But I thought it was extremely interesting, like everybody else said, to have to have the trade partner be the Green Bay Packers. And how ironic is it that Green Bay is one of the most like cheapest organization when it comes to free agents, and they grab up Micah Parsons and make him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. I thought that was kind of ironic. And to send him to Green Bay when literally the NFC East plays the Packers this year. So we're going to see Micah at some point, and the Cowboys are going to see Micah at some point this year. So I thought that was interesting. But and on top of that, like everybody said, going to a contender. So Micah's still going to be a presence in the NFC, and the Packers really upgraded there, obviously having Micah Parsons, but that's what everybody has been saying with the Green Bay Packers for a while is they needed a dominant pass rusher besides Rashawn Gary, and they got one in Parsons, and nobody expected to happen. It came out of nowhere. But yeah, I am happy. I am excited that that Micah Parsons is out of here.
You see him try to sneak in that potential 2-0.
Yeah. I'm on the week 2 now. I'm on the week 2.
if that happens, pass me the trash bag, man. I'm putting over my head, KB.
Oh, that's listen. Washington's gonna be an issue. Washington, if we lose to Washington, whatever. But I'm really focused on Dallas now. Really focused on Dallas.
And that's where we're heading next year. We're going to be talking about our games coming up.
Hey,
and of course,
don't Micah got to go back to Dallas week 4?
Yeah, week 4,
yeah.
September 28th, Sunday
sack
night
record.
football.
Single game sack record.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Micah Parsons sacking Dak Prescott. If he's
tackle,
healthy, who knows? Yeah.
Our left tackle's playing out there with the. I ain't want to talk.
Oh man,
J-Tuck,
I'll give you
the final word on this one here. What has to happen this year in order for this to become something that Dallas fans can not move off of, because I don't know if that's really possible, but I guess look back on and say, I guess it could have been worse, or I guess it wasn't the worst thing in the world. What has to happen here? Or is this just maybe the last straw in terms of everybody having absolutely nothing, or having not wanting anything to do with Jerry Jones anymore here? I mean, where is the fan base at?
Actually, it sounds crazy, but the fan base is perfectly fine right now. You would think that people be burning buildings and going crazy right now and frustrated with the front office. They are perfectly fine because they have been manipulated to believe that Micah Parsons was overrated is what I've been hearing.
The gaslightery.
Yeah, he wasn't. And the thing that
Bayless.
Jerry Jones, the master manipulator, he was able to spin this fan base, and they just bought it. Oh, Micah's agent told Jerry to shove the contract up his. Well, that was me. Well, then I understand what, like, it's just ridiculous how Jerry Jones went on this media tour and put all these false allegations out there. The fans bought it. And then what did Jerry Jones do the other day? He went and signed DeRon Bland. We'll see. That's what happens when you don't, take all the money and DeRon Bland took a favorable. It's all this manipulative. I'll say this: Jerry Jones is a master manipulator, and he has this fan base like puppets on a string. And I'm like, I can't beat this because Cowboys fans aren't upset. Perfectly fine. Rio just mentioned Donovan Ezekaraku. People are like, yeah, he can beat Micah Parsons. Bro, I'm the one who scouted him. I'm the one who put y'all on film about Donovan Ezekaraku. I'm a Florida State guy. I went against Boston College in his most craziest. He's not that, right? Well, but hey, we have Donovan Ezekaraku. We have Dante Fowler. We have Sam Williams. We have Marshawn Nealon. They can be a Micah Parsons. So if you have to take 4 to 5 guys to be Micah Parsons, then obviously he's worth the money. And then now Jerry Jones went to that podium and gave that buzzword, stop the run. This move was all about stopping the run. We haven't heard Jerry Jones mention stopping the run all offseason, but now all of a sudden this was a play. So the fans bought it hook, line, and sinker and wanted to see, but how do we get past this? Well, Tuck has to be right. I have to be right. And Dak Prescott truly has to be the best quarterback, not only in the NFC East, but almost football at an MVP caliber year to carry this team, because there's no chance in hell this team with no running back, a left tackle coming off a knee injury who's pretty much struggled last year, defensive enforcer is gone, right? That we can be competitive and be a playoff team without Dak Prescott playing at an all-time high. So that is the only way. Or if Green Bay just struggles in those first round picks turning like top 10 picks or something like that. But for someone who does draft content and draft coverage, this draft class isn't that. There's no Abdul Carter. There's no Travis Hunter not in this class. It's okay. But the 2027 draft class is going to be damn good unless you want to draft Caleb Downs out of Ohio State. So that's the only way you get over it.
Well, it all comes full circle. J-Tuck had to slip back in that NFC East best quarterback prediction.
I'm saying I'm going to be right. If we in the playoffs, we going to spin the block on that conversation because that's the only way it's going to happen.
No doubt about it. Well, we'll have to move on to talking week one here, but of course had to start the show talking about the major news in the NFC East, and that is Micah Parsons no longer being a Dallas Cowboy, traded to the Green Bay Packers. And as you said, J-Tuck, we'll be talking about him in a couple of weeks when the Cowboys take on those Packers in week 4. But for now, let's turn the page to week 1. Before we do, let's give a shout out to our friends over at Sleeper. They are the proud sponsor of the NFC East Roundtable this season. We're so excited to be working with Sleeper this year because they are your one-stop shop for predictions, fantasy sports, real money gaming, all in one app with over 6 million active users since 2023. I'm sure you all are well aware of Sleeper, but you might not be aware of all of the awesome features they have, including their picks feature. So we're going to dive into week 1 using our friends over at Sleeper's picks feature. By the way, use the promo code RTS and you can do the same here. That'll get you 100% match up to $100. So I'm looking at the slips here right now, guys, right? And we can pick who we think is going to go more or less on their number for the upcoming games, including the Thursday night football game that kicks things off between Dallas and Philadelphia. So we're looking on here, plenty of different options. Let's just pick a couple here to build our slip. I'll start with you, J-Tuck. CeeDee Lamb, more or less 72.5 receiving yards. What do you think on that one?
More.
Yeah, more.
He said Tug.
Oh, this is tough.
Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Sleeper as well. Love Sleeper. I'm already building my slips. I'm taking everything Dak Prescott passing related, honestly.
Okay, so you're liking Dak. You're just feeling Dak.
Yeah, well, one, you got the freebie right there. He likes to throw for over a yard. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's MVP
Lock that in.
Performance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you don't have that option, I would take his passing attempts. I feel like he's like at 30 when I saw it. But also, I think there was a George Pickens longest reception that I saw on there that I would be taking. So, or George Pickens at 54 yards. I would probably say George Pickens at 54 yards would be my other one.
All right, George Pickens
would be mad. But I'll let Simone have that one. There's another freebie on there on the other side. But
all right, so we put George Pickens in there with that Dak Prescott freebie. And then what are you thinking, Simone, on the Eagles side of things? More or less 213.5 yards for Jalen Hurts. A.J. Brown, more or less 70.5 yards. What looks good for you on the Eagles end of things?
Whatever they got for Saquon, bump it up.
Yeah.
So you're just all in on Saquon. I'm liking that too.
They can't stop the run.
They got Saquon right now. 82.5 rushing yards. I think that might be one of their promo numbers right now. So I'm sure you're probably feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll put in not bad. So we'll put in more. Oh, we can only use one promo, by the way. So I'm thinking we'll stick with Dak. Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
We anytime touchdown.
There we go. Perfect,
Yeah,
J-Tuck. That's a no-brainer. All right, cool. So
Anytime.
we built our slip.
No-brainer.
We got everybody in there, right? You build your slip just like we did here. You put in whatever amount of money you're looking to put in, submit your entry, and you are good to go. So that can be done over at Sleeper. Link is in the description below, by the way. The promo code is RTS. Use that on the Sleeper app for a 100% match. Once again, use the promo code RTS, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. And once again, we are excited to be working with them all season long. All right. Speaking of the season, let's turn gears to week 1 of the NFL season. It starts this week, ladies and gentlemen. We have made it. I absolutely can't wait. I know you guys are stoked too. And it gets even better that we kick things off within the division here with a bitter rival on Thursday Night Football between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Before we get into our predictions, let's get into our previews here. So we're going to start with game 1, and let's start with the Cowboys side of things. And I'll start with everybody but Jay Tuck and round out with him. I'm going to start with Rio here. Rio, Micah Parsons gone. A lot of talk surrounding Dallas right now about pretty much everything but this game. So what are the keys to victory for Dallas to go out Thursday and shock everybody and have everybody say, wow, despite all the talk about Micah Parsons this week, despite the new head coach, despite Dak coming off of a season-ending injury, these Cowboys look pretty good. What are the keys for Dallas on Thursday night?
For one, Rain Dakota needs to look as good as Jay Tuck thinks he is. He needs to look like the potential best quarterback in the NFC East, because that's just a daunting night for the Dallas Cowboys. It's opening night. The Eagles are putting their second banner up. It's going to be rowdy as hell. Your best defensive player just got shipped out of town. But sometimes it's like when a coach gets fired, when a star gets moved, and it brings something, it lights a fire under the team. So they could come out enthused. Also, it's a divisional game. Divisional games in week 1, anything can happen in any game. And while most people think Philadelphia is going to win this game, I don't think people would be like flabbergasted if the Cowboys won the football game. But Dak got to be on his best bullshit on Thursday. He got to be on his best stuff. The new duo, the dynamic duo of George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, they need to be crashing out on defenders and not fighting players on Thursday night. But if their offense got to be clicking on all cylinders. And when I say their offense, I mean their passing game, because I don't expect anything from their rushing game at this point. Dak has to play some of his best football. It needs to be MVP candidate Rain Dakota, or the Eagles are going to pack them up and we're going to be laughing at Dallas for 3 hours on Thursday night.
KB, what about you? You get to watch a couple of your rivals kick things off on Thursday night before having to get after them this season. What are you looking for on the Dallas side of things here on Thursday that might be able to shock some people, get people looking past the big news of Micah Parsons that just happened this past weekend?
Yeah, listen, after Micah Parsons got shipped out of there, I think the only thing that's going to work right now are thoughts and prayers. I don't see how Dallas is going to win this game at all. I mean, they're coming off a rough stretch against the Eagles last year, so they got to rebound from that. And granted, maybe they were hurt on both sides of the ball, wherever the case was. But Eagles have a lot of momentum, especially winning the Super Bowl and going against one of your biggest rivals in week 1. That's just a real tough ask, especially without Micah Parsons. So just doubling the amount of pressure that they have. Like Rio said, Dak Prescott has to be everything and more that Jay Tuck said that Dak Prescott is, in order for them to succeed here. Now, I mean, the Cowboys and the Eagles over the past couple of years, since 2020, they're like tied 5-5. So it's like they kind of like hit each other back and forth. So we'll see if the pendulum swings towards Dallas's way. But it's just a bad matchup because Saquon Barkley, we just found out he was a number 1 player in all of football, apparently to the vote of his peers last year. So Saquon Barkley coming off an amazing season for a running back, and it's just a bad matchup because Dallas cannot stop the run, and they got Kenny Clark, but I don't know how much Kenny Clark is going to contribute to stopping Saquon Barkley, so that's just automatically a bad matchup. And then you got the Eagles with one of the best rosters in the NFL, so it's going to be a tough one. As far as a key to victory, Dak Prescott just needs to go off because I don't like their running game. Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, and Jalen Blue. I don't know how that's going to work on the ground. And then, like Jay Tuck said, you got Tyler Guyton coming off of season-ending injury. He's coming back, right? So I don't know how he's going to fare out in his first game back. So it's going to be tough. Like, Dak Prescott has to throw it all over the place.
We keep bringing up Dak, and Simone, I'll move to you because right now it might be easy to think lesser of the Dallas Cowboys. You're seeing the Jerry drama, and then you think back to last year, and it just wasn't a great year. You move off of Mike McCarthy. Dak Prescott isn't out there on the field. But they do have a new head coach this year, and we'll see what happens with Schottenheimer. Dak is healthy, and we'll see if he can be what Jay Tuck is hoping he's going to be, and that's the best quarterback in the NFC East. So there are elements to this Dallas team that can come out hot, that can hit Philadelphia in the mouth when no one's expecting it. What are those aspects of Dallas that you, the Philly fan, look out for, that you're slightly concerned if Dallas is hitting on could end up being a factor towards them winning the game this upcoming Thursday?
Oh, she just laughed to start. Damn.
I'm laughing because I don't know how he said all that with a straight face.
Golly.
I was waiting for him to break character, but professional.
Break character.
Let me be for real. I'm sorry. It's just because it's Dallas. Any other team, I would be much more professional. Yes, like everybody said, Dak. I mean, our biggest issue right now is our cornerback spot. Dak, he gonna have to just air it out. That's his best hope, is to, hope he catch Adoree, Keeley, Jacorian Bennett, because right now they haven't officially named a starter for our cornerback 2 spot. So, one of their strengths, which is Dak and their receiving core, is a little bit of a mismatch because we don't know who's starting there yet. And we don't know what we're going to get out of any of those guys. So their best bet would be to air it out. They wouldn't really have an option anyway because, like we said on this panel, their run game is non-existent. So their best hope is boom, 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 boom. Dak is just dotting us up, just dotting it up. But we'll see, because this whole Micah Parsons trade, I feel like, is going to be causing some the word isn't drama, the word is a distraction for the players, because Micah Parsons and that team was close, like Diggs and Dak and Micah, they had a close relationship. We saw how those players had Micah's back during practices when he wasn't there, or practices when he was there and holding out. In the media, in the press conferences, they've always had Micah Parsons back. So, they lost one of their guys, one of their homies at the buzzer. They didn't see that coming, and now they got to come up to the link, banner drop night. Could be a lot of emotions on Dallas' side that they, might not be able to contain week 1. Might catch them slipping.
J-Tuck, I know you're hoping to catch those Eagles slipping. J-Tuck's going to –
that chair is scary.
J-Tuck, I know you'll be able to say this with a straight face. I know Simone was shocked that I did. She's not going to be shocked when you say it. Tell us what we need to know about Dallas Thursday night, that when we sit back, as excited as ever that football's back, we're sitting there and we're saying, okay, Dallas came to play. What has to happen for Dallas to really make an impact on the football field Thursday, have their best chance against the champs?
Yeah, I think the thing that's working in the Dallas Cowboys' favor right now is the element of surprise. We don't know who this team is. We don't know who these players are. We don't know what this offensive philosophy looks like with this Clayton Adams type Brian Schottenheimer as the play caller. We also don't know what this defense looks like with Matt Eberflus being the defensive coordinator in absence of Micah Parsons. So we do have that element of surprise. And here's why I am optimistic about the Dallas Cowboys winning in Philadelphia, because this past Saturday, I just went through this, y'all. I really just went through this. So a lot of you know I'm a Florida State fan. And I personally felt there was no chance in hell these Noles, these unranked Florida State football Seminoles, was going to beat Alabama. And what they did is they hit them with everything but the kitchen sink, right? So I feel like that's the same thing for the Dallas Cowboys. You're going to have to go out there and hit Philadelphia with everything, including the kitchen sink. Hell, pull the kitchen sink out and just smack them over the head with it. So I think there's going to be opportunity, because the Philadelphia Eagles did have some change defensively. They don't really have the edge rushers that's really proven like they really had last year. They kind of lost Sweat, right? So we'll see what happens with Nolan and some of those other guys. So if they're not able to get pressure, Vic Fangio doesn't like to blitz a lot. So it's going to be them rushing forward versus our newly revamped offensive line. Hopefully that should give Dak time in the pocket. Well, a lot of teams did to the Dallas Cowboys last year, their Achilles heels. They rushed 4, dropped 7. Why? Because there was no threat of the run game, but also there was no threat of the wide receiver 2 position. That has drastically changed with adding George Pickens in the mix, and I think that Brian Schottenheimer will be able to unlock Konvontae Turpin, who is a speedster that can stretch the field. But I think the biggest matchup the Dallas Cowboys can take advantage of was hopefully Jake Ferguson, our tight end, who got top 10 money. He didn't get in the end zone last year, but Jerry paid him no problem. Crazy how that works, right? He can take advantage of some of these linebackers that Philadelphia has. Now, I'm a huge Jahad Campbell fan. I'm going to be keeping it a buck, right? But I feel like if you can take advantage of him or Zach Bond in coverage, there's going to be some opportunities. So I feel like the Dallas Cowboys offensively will be okay versus the Philadelphia Eagles defense. Where I'm concerned is how do we stop them defensively? We do have Trayvon Diggs coming back from an injury, possibly 70%, maybe. He's just now starting to practice, but 70% is better than we had. Deron Bland's returning with his new contract, right? How is our defensive front going to look like in absence of Micah Parsons? That's unknown. We have a brand new linebacker core and Jack Sanborn and K9, we call him, right? Kenneth Murray, our starting linebacker, came from Tennessee. I think was he in Buffalo? I'm trying to remember, right? But so it's a lot of improvements on the defensive side of the ball. That's my biggest concern. So I'm expecting a shootout. But the thing that I'm trying to tell Cowboys fans and everyone else, yes, the Eagles are a scary team. They are the Super Bowl champs, but we don't look at them like everyone else looks at them. Right, because they have yet to make Dak Prescott bleed. Right, they've won some games versus Dak, but they haven't just drugged Dak in public like they've done some other teams in our division. So Dak is not going to look at this as, oh my God, it's the Super Bowl champs and the Eagles. It's just a divisional game, and he's done this 1,000 times. Now it's going to be different on the road, like Simone just said. Opening night. I know Simone just posted a little Twitter. She got a ticket, so she's gonna be in there with her pom-poms, cheering, playing a little Kelly Green. Right? So it's gonna be crazy, but we've done this before. And I feel like the Dallas Cowboys, when they have their backs against the wall and no one believes in them, that's when they play their best football. When we had to play Tom Brady when Dak came off an injury from the foot injury after they won the Super Bowl, that was the best Dallas Cowboys offense I ever seen. Now we still lost, right? But Dak was clicking on all cylinders. So when our backs are against the wall, Cowboys against the world, we typically play good football. Now we mess around and win on Thursday, everyone will be singing our praises versus the Giants, and that's when we'll fall asleep at the wheel playing at noon. But I feel like for this game, the Dallas Cowboys will be ready. Do I think the Micah Parsons dark cloud will impact it? Nah, they're professionals. They know, all right, it's time to just go out there and play, and hopefully Sam Williams, Donovan Ezekaraku, someone steps up. So I think it's going to be a close game, and I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people expect.
And we'll get those predictions in a little bit, and I'm excited to see what you guys think. But let's talk about the Eagles side of things here. Let's talk about their end. They're coming off of the championship, and you know how tough it is to continuously keep climbing up the mountain, especially once you've ascended towards the top. I mean, I know the Chiefs have made it look easy. The Patriots made it look easy for a long time. The thing is, the Eagles have the roster to be able to do it. They just have to go out and continue to play the way that they played at the end of last year. Here's what people might forget, though. The Eagles that we saw that ended the season last year were not the same Eagles that started the season in 2024. They eke out a win against the Packers late, 34-29 in week 1. They lose to the Atlanta Falcons in week 2. They win 15-12 against the lowly Saints and then lose to the Bucs 33-16. That also was right before a game against the Browns where they won by 4. These Eagles to start the year last year were not the same Eagles team we saw go all the way to February and destroy the Kansas City Chiefs. So Rio, with that in mind, is it safe to say with what we saw from the Eagles at the end of last year, they're going to have a much better start to 2025 than 2024?
The start of seasons can be tricky too, because frauds be out to play in September. Like, this is when teams that have no business being a part of relevant NFL discourse and about December and January, they come out to play in September. The freaks come out at night, the frauds come out in September. It be like that sometimes. But the Eagles, despite losing some very important pieces, C.D. Gardner-Johnson, Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, and despite having some question marks opposite Quinyon Mitchell at cornerback. Simone, how y'all looking over there on the other side of cornerback? Is Adoree Jackson, y'all got confidence in that?
You seem like you know everybody else's name.
Giant pride, baby, Adoree Jackson.
What do you think about Adoree? You got confidence in that?
First of all, this is your segment.
No, but I just want to know.
I said in my segment, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not
wanted to double down on it.
I wanted to can or can't do, but it's a question mark.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a question. I just wanted to double down on that. By the way, I wanted to put a magnifying glass on that because
I didn't know you were allowed to call the other folks. That's Z-Body.
Hey, we freestyle. We freestyle over here, man. We freestyle, but there are chinks in certain parts of the armor of that Philadelphia roster, but the Eagles are the Eagles, man. The road to the Super Bowl in the NFC and in this division goes through Philadelphia. They should get right to the shits in 2025. We really don't even have to spend too much time talking about the Eagles. They have the blueprint roster-wise. Howie Roseman keeps finessing Bamas to keep answering the phone whenever he calls for whatever reason. I don't care about Sydney. I don't care about Sidney Brown or Adoree Jackson. I don't care who it's going to be. They have so many talented players on that team that there's no excuse for them to get off to a fast start. I think in 2025, with the way that the schedules are set up, Jalen Hurts cannot get away with 5 or 6 games of under 180 yards in 2025. I think he needs to be a little more quarterbacky during the season, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Eagles have a style of playing football, and in the postseason, you saw what happens when they turned it up another gear. So, it's the Eagles, man.
KB, it is the Eagles. Is this a game where you're looking for them to just continue the domination, parlay what we saw in January and February into September? Or is there something else you're looking out for that you're going to need to see in order for you to be convinced we're going to see that version of the Eagles team again that we saw at the end of last year? What do you expect from Philly Thursday? What do you need to see from Philly to get a W against the Cowboys?
Like I said, I guess reiterate what I said in the Cowboys segment. Thoughts and prayers are the only thing that's going to save the Cowboys right now. If you look at the Eagles top down, their roster, they have a couple of holes in spots like cornerback 2, like Rio mentioned. You're either going to have Adoree Jackson, Giants legend, out there, or you're going to have Keely Ringo or something like that. So that's a definite opportunity for Dallas to take advantage of. George Pickens on the other side of CD Lamb, and so I don't know. And on top of that, I was looking at the depth chart for Dallas. J-Tuck, why y'all only have 4 wide receivers on the roster?
That's all we need.
But aren't you guys supposed to air it out this year?
That's all we need.
There's gonna be injuries. There's gonna be fatigue.
No, we have some guys
I don't know. That's not a good
practice squad that we stash. We have some guys, but
that's poor team building right there. Jerry Jones got to get on that. But I think that's the only way in this scenario. Week 1. I think that's the best opportunity right now for Dallas, and I think that's the part that the Eagles need to worry about the most is that cornerback 2 spot. But the good thing is CD Lamb lines up in the slot anyway, so probably George Pickens is going to be lined up with Quinyon mostly, right? I'm looking to the crowd here.
Is Quinyon going to travel, or is he going to stay on the right side?
He's
better not travel.
So what? It'll be Tolbert on the other side matched up on Adoree Jackson or something. Whatever. That's the only way Dallas is gonna win it, and that's the only way I think the Eagles can lose this game is not having control over their that one part in the secondary.
Dak throwing 59 passes on Thursday, bro.
He's gonna be
for 19 completions, baby.
He's gonna be so surgical.
Don't let Jalen Carter get going.
Dak's going to be so surgical, though. I don't know what else is going to happen. I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but Dak's going to carve the defense up. So, you know what I'm saying? With the ball to the floor.
Four receivers on the roster, and one of them's your returner. That is not good.
They'll elevate.
And I'm looking forward to seeing, by the way, just Dak off this injury, right? Is he able to get back to form? That's going to be such a key for Dallas in order to be competitive this season. Simone, I know you are confident in your Eagles being competitive this season, but what do you want to see Thursday to have that reassured for you? What do you want to see Thursday so you can basically watch that one and say, yeah, what last year wasn't an aberration. This team is just as good as they were at the end. They're just as primed to make another run. What are you looking for Thursday from Philadelphia?
I'm really just looking for a win, honestly. Like, it doesn't matter how it looks. It doesn't matter the final score. A win is a win. And, that's our mantra. Win, no matter what it takes. Jalen Hurts said in his press conference 2 days ago that the motto this season is contribution over credit. You know what I'm saying? You might not always get the credit. Might not always look how other people wanted to look, but at the end of the day, the goal is a win. So I feel like, honestly, Thursday night is really just a tryout, in my opinion, for that cornerback 2 spot.
God damn.
The treehouse for the Cowboys.
NFC East rivalry, and she's saying this is a try. Hey guys, this is just a trial run to see who.
He asked you, all we're really looking for is who's going to be our long-term corner. Like, everything else is going to, we already know. She
said it like it was a preseason game.
Howie will be using one of those draft picks to go get a corner by Friday, bro.
Right. Well, if they're smart, which I know they are, Ja'Cory Bennett will be starting soon. I mean, once he gets acclimated.
Yeah, the only issue was him coming in late, and so pretty much all I'm really looking out for is that corner spot. But yeah, I feel like as long as we come out here and run that ball, tote that rock, you know what I'm saying? Like, that offense is just going to overpower Dallas. Like, Dak, trying to get some whatever you looking for, Dak, like, it's irrelevant, because at the end of the day, our offense is just going to surely overpower that Dallas defense. We are returning 10 out of 11 offensive starters from the Super Bowl team. So it's just, there's not really much. I'm just smiling because I'm just happy. Like,
that championship arrogance, that must be so nice.
I know.
Like, I already know what's going to happen on Thursday night. Like, this whole panel already knows. Just finishing the final touches on my outfit. Like, that's really all I'm worried about.
She got the fit laid out like the first day of school for y'all.
I'm so happy that the Giants ain't playing the Eagles week 1. I'll cry. I'm not
Jay Tuck, what do the Eagles have to do in order for Simone in her already pre-planned outfit? What do they have to do for her to just leave that stadium feeling as good as ever? What do they have to do to go out and dominate against your Cowboys?
They just have to stop Dak Prescott. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like I said, this game will go through Dak Prescott, right? Win or lose. So if they're able to generate pressure, cause havoc on Dak, let's say he has a flustered game, or him and Pickens and CeeDee are not in sync, then the Eagles will easily win this ball game. But also, I don't even want to say stop the run, because I know that the Cowboys are going to try it, but Philly is just not the team to try your run game against. Like, their front has been built to stop the run. That's why they spent all this premium value on the defensive line. So, it's going to be interesting, but if they win the turnover margin, stop Dak Prescott, get him pressured, have him flustered, 3 and outs, it's going to be a long night for Dallas. So the main thing is stopping Dak. I used to be able to say, okay, there's another play on the other side of the ball I got to worry about, but I ain't got those problems no more. So it's going to have to stop Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens. I just feel like for the Eagles to, make Simone have a little smile on her face next Tuesday. But if they don't, I'm telling you right now, Dak Prescott is going to go crazy. He's going to go. He's not going to be the reason we lose. He's going to be the reason we win. But I'm telling you, Dak is going to go crazy Thursday night. I will guarantee it. I 1,000% guarantee it. Now, we're
going to unlock a new level. We're going to unlock a new version of Jay Tuck if we see that.
No, it's not a new version. We've seen this version before, and it's a scary version. It's a scary version.
Oh, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about the level we're going to see from you Tuesday if he comes out and balls.
No. Because it's going to be Joe Burrow-ish, where Dak is literally going to have to carry this team. Right. But I've seen Dak one time when he was loaded with weapons, and it was scary. And like I said, it's when I went on the road, when we opened up versus Tom Brady and the Bucs, and he came out there with Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup. he was locked in because it was something special. And then Michael Gallup tore his calf, and the rest was history. So we'll have it for one night at least.
Well, we shall see what happens. We're going to get our predictions on that game in just a little bit. And, of course, we're about to preview Giants and Commanders. Can't wait for that one as well. Before we do, let's talk about our friends over at RotoWire, by the way, because I know for a fact you have no more time to waste. You have got to do your fantasy football drafts now, because if you don't, well, you're not playing fantasy football. The preseason's done. The rosters are locked in. The games start in 2 days. So you got to get your drafts done either tonight and tomorrow. And if you are doing one of those last-minute drafts, make sure to take advantage of all the last-minute information over on RotoWire, including all of their fantasy draft tools, like the one I'm in right now, the Draft Assistant. It's my absolute favorite, with all of these beautiful player cards, with all of the must-know information about each and every player to let you know exactly what you're drafting, exactly what you're getting from each and every one of those guys. That's just one of the many features of a premium RotoWire subscription. You get a ton of different outlets for fantasy, and also a ton of different resources for betting throughout the season as well. You're going to use it throughout the year. I know I am. Make sure to take advantage of the promo code we have for you. It's RTS. That gets you 15% off a premium subscription over at RotoWire. And once again, it's not just for fantasy, for betting all throughout the year as well. You're going to be taking full advantage of everything they have on there. It'll be a great tool to have all the way up until February. Use that promo code RTS for 15% off a subscription. Also, right now, become a Patreon member before the season starts. We have 2 interdivisional battles this week, and I know you guys are going to want to call in next week and talk your smack if your team ends up getting the job done. Do so by becoming a Patreon member. Link in the description below. You click that, you sign up, you'll have the ability to call into the show. And while you're down there right now, by the way, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, because I don't know if you guys know on here, but throughout the entire Roundtable network, the NFC East Roundtable is doing some numbers right now. We're coming up from, we're coming basically out of nowhere on some of these favorites. The underdogs right now are coming in hot. Subscriber numbers are up, view counts up, likes and all that stuff are up, and that's all because of you guys tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you. So throw a like, throw a subscribe if you would, and we look forward to spending the entire season with you, including, of course, week 1, where we pivot to talking about the New York Giants taking on the Washington Commanders. This will be the first time we see the Commanders back in action since their NFC Championship game appearance. This will be the first time we see Russell Wilson in action in a New York Giants jersey. So there's a ton to look out for in this interdivisional battle on Sunday afternoon. We'll start with the 2 that aren't involved in this game, and I'll go to you here first, Jay Tuck. Talk to me about Washington, because they're coming off of a huge year, a year where people didn't expect to see what they did. How do they do it again? And how do they show us week 1 that they have the capabilities of being that same team from last year? What are you looking out for from Washington?
Yeah, I feel like now they're going from the hunters to the hunted, right? Everyone knows what Washington is. I think we all agree that Jaden Daniels is phenomenal. They brought in Deebo Samuel, so they have some talent there. Brought in Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, as we talked about earlier. So we now know what the Washington Commanders are. But let's see how they are when teams are actually gunning for them. And I think the Giants this year, even though they had a close matchups last year, I feel like the Giants are going to be gunning for the Commanders. But I think the Commanders will handle this game. I think Jaden Danielson's offense is going to be a little too much, and also this defense. I think when the Giants are going to have to figure out what's their quarterback situation, as you mentioned, Russ is starting, but I think I just saw their depth chart, and they had Jackson Dart as their backup. So, KB, you could have gave me James Winston, but you're being greedy. But yeah, I feel like the Washington Commanders go out there and handle it. Now, as far as the course of the season and returning back to where they were last year, that shit's not happening. But they'll win this game versus the New York Giants, and I believe that they'll handle it pretty good.
We'll see how good. We'll get your predictions in a second. Simone, what are you looking for from the Commanders? I know the last time you played the Commanders, you had them all figured out in that NFC Championship game. What are you looking for from Washington this time around against the Giants to maybe correct those mistakes from that game and have their best start to the season possible?
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to talk about us, like how we're going to follow up, how we're going to look, how we're going to keep that momentum. but the same goes for Washington. You know what I mean? Like Tuck said, they have pressure on them too. They're coming off a big season. Made it to the NFC Championship game, you know, so they have a lot of expectations. Obviously, Jaden Daniels was coming to a year where he now has hella expectations versus last year. It was just like, you know, rookie figuring it out, but then he turned into a star. So it's a different scenario, a different climate in Washington. But as far as this game, I'm going to still go with the Commanders. I'm pretty sure the Commanders are at home. Am I right?
Yep.
Yes. Commanders being at home, that offense, I mean, I just feel like it's going to be too much for the Giants. Still not really, I'm not really sure about Russ, but I know what JD5 got going on. So this game, I'm going to be rooting for the Giants, of course. But I don't know what my rooting is worth. So,
yeah. Well, we know who else is going to be rooting for the Giants. That's KB, Kid Blue. He's looking for something
everybody
special.
give it up for KB, man.
Come on.
NFC East strongest soldier right here, everybody. Right here.
Damn right. And KB, we know you're trying to avoid mock draft season. That's the goal this year. And in order to do that, kicking things off week 1 would go a hell of a long way. But what do we have to see from Washington to give your Giants the toughest outing possible? What has you fearful the most in this matchup against the Commanders?
Oh, I'm fearing the most of Jaden Daniels. That's who I'm fearing the most. I've never, ever been afraid of Washington's defense, no matter how many names they've ever had on their defense, and they've had names for years, and they've never been able to get it going. So I've never been afraid of their defense at all, and we've been able to handle that part for a while. I'm just worried about Jaden Daniels and him just making magic happen with whatever he's got. He's going to be that entire offense. I have no faith in their running game at all. So Jaden Daniels is going to have to pick up on that as well. But the key part is just stopping him, trying to stop him. And I think we got a really good answer for that in Abdul Carter. I know Rio was happy to, have Micah Parsons out of the NFC East, and he's like, oh, that's the only guy that could keep up with Jaden Daniels. Well, you haven't escaped him because the 2.0 version just landed in New York, so he's gonna have a tough issue with Abdul Carter as well. So that's gonna be the key thing is Jaden Daniels. And Scary Terry, of course, but those are the only two guys I'm worried about on the team, honestly.
Wow. So, Rio, KB, he's worried about the main suspects, but what else should he be worried about? Talk to me about these Commanders. What are you looking out for on Sunday? What's the whole package going to look like in terms of Washington sort of putting the past behind him? Even though it was a great year last year, it wasn't the best ending. What do you want to see Sunday against a team that I know you're confident against? What do you want to see from that team to get their best foot forward in 2025?
Well, first things first, he's got the main character right. He should be very afraid of Jaden Daniels because we're about to watch MVP level ascension in year 2.
Oh,
we do sophomore jumps over here. We don't do sophomore slumps. But when it comes to Sunday, the thing he should be most concerned about is that Andrew Thomas doesn't sound like he wants to or can play football. And what Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. do is they build a defense up. Last year was year 1. They took like the 29th ranked defense and made it a middle of the pack unit. And Jay Tuck can attest to this and how they developed Dallas's defense over there in year 2 and year 3. Shit, Deron Bland just got paid the other day. They had a lot to do with the development of that. And the emphasis this year will be getting the quarterbacks and forcing turnover. We know what the offense is. I don't even got to start with the offense. Y'all know what JD5 and company could do. I know y'all have a great defensive line. You can't stop what you can't catch. You got to catch my quarterback before you can worry about all that. And Micah Parsons not walking through that door. But anywho, defensively, if we
you may think he is.
Our priority this year, we need to force turnovers and we need to get better at stopping the run. We don't need to be elite at stopping the run. We need to get better at it. We don't need to get ran 150 to 200 on our head tops every time we touch a football field. Not that we have to worry about that with the New York Giants rushing attack anywho, but we got better on the front line. Dietrich Wise, a healthy Dorrance Armstrong on the outside. Von Miller as a rotational pass rusher to be this year's Dante Fowler Jr. Our cornerback room came from poverty to what it is right now. Trey Amos, who could have and should have been a first rounder, we got him in the second round, starting on one side. Marshawn Lattimore's hamstring is not falling off the bone like Kansas City barbecue this year. And year 2, Mikey Sainristil still. That room looks very good. Quan Martin played the whole year starting at free safety with 2 separated shoulders last year. He's got a new running mate next to him. We let Jeremy Chin walk. Will Harris, he looks like the defense is going to be considerably better. Moving over to the offensive side of the ball, we already know what JD5 do. Well, guess what? Terry's paid. He got Deebo Samuel out there right now. We got a slot receiver that runs a 4-3-1 and looks every bit of it on the field. We have an actual shifty dynamic back in the running back room. Oh, and did I mention that we picked up a top 5 pass protector in the NFL in the offseason named Laramie Tunzel. Josh Connerly Jr., our first round pick on the other side. And we upgraded guard because the guy we were running at tackle last year, the rookie Brandon Coleman, we knew his big ass should not have been out there playing tackle. That is a guard. You can look at his face and see he should have been a guard. He's a guard now. So we upgraded at 3 spots on the line. We're going to have to start the season the first month without right guard Sam Cosmi, but the sky is the limit for this offense. I look at this Giants game the same way I look at Lamar's first game of his second season in the league when he put up 59 on the Miami Dolphins. It started an MVP campaign, and unfortunately, the Giants got to be the first one to show up on JD5s.
Damn. Speaking of those Giants, Jay Tuck, what are you looking for from the G-men? Big year, quarterback room, of course, will be talked about all season long. Dable's trying to get off on the right foot, and it starts with Russell Wilson, who's really trying to resurrect his career here. So with that said, what are you looking out for from the G-men on Sunday?
Yeah, I was looking at the quarterback position. I think that's where everyone's going to be looking because honestly, I felt like the Giants offense wasn't bad last year. It was a lot on Daniel Jones. So you have Malik Neighbors out there. I just think that Russell Wilson will be serviceable. He have a serviceable quarterback that can keep the ship afloat, hit open targets. We saw what he was doing in preseason. So I think that, with that, this game will be a lot closer. But I think at the end, by the fourth quarter, the Commanders will eventually separate from the Giants. But I think the Giants will be a lot more competitive this year than last year. They will be the Commanders of the NFC East from last year. Not NFC Championship, but they're going to be in the thick of things as we're talking December. So I highly doubt KB's going to have bags over his face this year.
That'd be a good thing. We're not looking for more. We're not looking for
I still
KB.
have the bag somewhere.
No, we're looking for you to throw that out.
Yeah, I need to borrow it from you, bro.
Simone, what about you? What are you looking for from the G-men this upcoming Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm looking out for our guy, big Philly fan, Abdul Carter. But seriously, this Giants defensive line, I'm interested to see, how disruptive they could be. Obviously, they already had a solid foundation over there. Adding in Abdul Carter is going to be huge. And if they have any chance in this game against Washington, it's going to come down to pressuring JD5, stopping JD5. So this could be a big debut for Abdul.
Rio, Abdul Carter is going to be one of those guys I'm sure JD5 is going to be looking for every time he takes a snap. But outside of Abdul Carter, what else are you looking for from the G-men to have their best chance against your Commanders on Sunday?
Yeah, you already know what you're getting from Big Dex up front. Abdul Carter, I don't need to see him play in an NFL game to know what he is fully capable of. Kayvon Thibodeau does not concern me at all. That is what I call Big Apple Chase Young. He only shows up when Charles Leno Jr. is across the field from him, and he is no longer here. He has been banished to the shadow realm or some shit. But I want to see what this secondary looks like because they did go out and get Paulson Adebo. They went out and got Javon Holland. They needed some reinforcements there. Terry is going to give Deontay Banks problems all afternoon, so they're going to definitely have to throw some Paulson Adebo in the mix over there. But they got a solid linebacker room. I want to see how they're able to protect Russell Wilson because Russ is still slippery, but he's not the athlete that he once was. And if Andrew Thomas does not play on Sunday, it could be a long afternoon of running around for Russell Wilson on Sunday. And I think Daron Payne, Kinlaw, Johnny Newton on the inside, I think they're going to have a day with John Michael Schmitz in the interior of that Giants O-line.
KB, talk to me. What do the Giants have to do on Sunday to have their best crack against these Washington Commanders?
I think they just got to keep up. They just got to keep up. If we know who Jaden Daniels is, we know the potential he has on an offense, and we've seen that firsthand last year, even against us, and how he could go out there and get down the field real quick and win a game. So they just have to keep up, and I'm so confident that the Giants are going to have so much more refreshing of an offense this season now that we don't have to deal with Daniel Jones or some other quarterback, Drew Lock, out there anymore. We actually have somebody at quarterback, Russell Wilson, and you guys may laugh, but I'm so happy to have Russell Wilson here, and that says a lot. So I think Russell Wilson's going to get things going. There's not anybody that is going to be able to stop Malik Neighbors on that secondary right now. Nope. So he's going to be a huge issue. And then you have Darius Slayton, who's going to keep stretching out the field. And our running game looks pretty damn good right now. As far as our pass protection, the offensive line, and we've always had issues with that for a while, and we might be without Andrew Thomas. As far as them being able to open up holes in the run game, it seems like they're really getting that going. Tyrone Tracy, Cam Scatterboo is back, so we're going to see a mix of him as well. And then, of course, Devin Singletary. So we're not going to just be a team that's just going to throw the ball around. I think we're going to depend on the run in a lot of cases, and Tyrone Tracy has been known to be very, very slippery, and I can't wait to see what Cam Scatterboo does out there as well. Defensively, I think this is going to be the reason why the Giants are going to be in games this season. There's just not much you're going to be able to do against Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and say what you want about Kayvon Thibodeau. If he's the worst pass rusher on the line, that's a problem. That's definitely a big problem. He had that 11.5 sack season, and a lot of people laugh at it because he cleaned up a lot of sacks. If that's how he gets his sacks, then he's going to be eaten this season because Brian Burns has been on a tear. You have Dexter Lawrence. You have whoever you want at defensive tackle in our depth. They're going to be rotating. And then, of course, Abdul Carter. And as soon as you get up to the line, forget about the safeties. You got to see where Abdul Carter is lined up at. And he's going to be lined up all over the place, especially against Washington, who, if you're going up against Jaden Daniels, you need to have somebody that's going to be a spy. I think Abdul Carter, we've seen on film in college how he plays as a spy, and nobody's getting past him. So I'm really anxious to see how that's going to go. But there's just too many people to worry about. Rio mentioned Paulson Adebo, Javon Holland. These guys have been extremely good in the offseason. So the defense is what I'm really excited to see. And if they come out here and just punch Jaden Daniels in the mouth, that's going to send a huge message for the entire season, and I think they have an opportunity to do that.
All right, couple super chats before we lock in our week 1 predictions. We got Door Gunner coming in. He's saying this is a Russ body bag game. No Andrew Thomas, JMS at center, and maybe a rookie left tackle. Better get Dart ready, says Door Gunner, because Russ is going to have 2 INTs, and JD5 is going to have 2 TD passes plus a rushing TD. I think I know where Door Gunner's going in terms of his prediction for Giants Commanders on Sunday. OG Eagles coming in. He's saying respect to Simone, but he's saying, Rio, you're going to be in some tears soon. Watch. He's got something coming your way, Rio. Not good, apparently. He's thinking maybe an upset coming Sunday from OG Eagles. Jared Talks Football. We're about to see Carter back on Twitter after being served pancakes courtesy of his neutralizer out of order.
I heard copping please because he got put on the ground. It happens, man. It's the league.
It was the preseason after he dominated the rest of the preseason games. It was one play.
You get put on your ass sometime. It's okay. Yeah. You got to go cop please.
I didn't care about it. And listen, I'll tell you what. You guys better hope you don't knock Russ out the game, because if Jackson Dart comes in, the chances of winning goes even higher. So I would say that.
Regardless, looks like Jared's got on. He's got on Abdul Carter's Twitter notifications. He'll be on the lookout. Door Gunner rounding us out with super chat saying Giants wide receiver are neighbors and a bunch of DoorDash drivers. He's not worried about who Russ has to throw.
How can y'all say that when Darius Slayton has done what you guys has done to you guys' franchise, man?
Well, we'll have to wait and see what he does on Sunday. And speaking of Sunday, it's time, folks. It's time to get our week 1 predictions in. It is here. Week 1's here. We got to put our money where our mouth is. And with 2 interdivisional battles, it should be interesting to see what everybody thinks, and it should be even more interesting next week to see what everybody has to say about what went down. But we got to predict what's about to go down, and let's start Thursday in Philadelphia. A banner-raising evening on Thursday night to kick off the 2025 season as the Philadelphia Eagles host the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles are a 7-point favorite at home as they raise the Super Bowl 59 banner. All right, let's start with the two below who are not involved in this game. Rio, your prediction for the first game of the 2025 season and why?
I'm going to go 31-23 Philadelphia Eagles. Dallas gets I think they're going to handle most of the game, but Dallas keeps it within arm's reach and just a heavy dose of Saquon, Jalen Hurts in the run game, and it's just too much for Dallas to overcome. But it's not a bad showing for them in Philadelphia to start the season. Yeah, give me 31-23 Philadelphia victorious in the first game of the season.
So Rio's got a good game to kick things off within a score, but he's got the champs pulling it off in week one. KB, how about you? What are you expecting to see Thursday night? Who wins it?
It's an NFC East matchup, so it may start off a lot closer. Obviously it's the start of the season, so both teams may get off to a slower start offensively, so maybe a little bit of a defensive game. But I think eventually the Eagles are going to pull away with this one and probably looking like, because if you get Saquon rolling and they have an issue already stopping the run, it just seems like it's a whole 4-quarter stretch. It just seems like a tough ask to stop Saquon in the run game when you already have deficiencies there stopping the run. So I'm gonna say like 34-20 Eagles on top, but I think it could be closer at halftime, and then the Eagles kind of just pull away, just running Saquon.
So Rio and KB both got the Eagles in the 30s, both got W's for the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. Simone, I got a feeling you're going to say the same, but by how much? What is Philadelphia going to do Thursday night, and what is the final score?
I think it'll be 35, mid to high 30s, and I'll put them like 19. Be trying to do the math in my head. Around 19, late in the game gonna be put away. Dak gonna be, they're gonna be down like 2 touchdowns, and Dak gonna drive down the field, get tucking them hyped up, thinking the game's not over, even though it's gonna be like 45 seconds left. Garbage time stats. He loves those. I do think they'll get into like the high teens. But yeah, game will be put away by the third quarter. Yeah.
Fight back, J-Tuck. Fight back.
I was going to say,
I'm hoping the Cowboys win. I really am.
Hey, Tuck, you got to predict the dub, bro. You can't just take that, bro.
J-Tuck, you're the last one standing. We got all three of these guys picking the Eagles. We got all three of them picking them to score 30+. We got all three of them picking them to cover that 7-point spread. You are the last line of defense for your Dallas Cowboys. What happens on Thursday night?
The end is finally here. I have the Eagles separating. I had the Eagles winning 31-27, but I don't like that score because I took the Eagles -6.5. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles 31-24. And a close one. They cover the -6.5.
Realistic Dallas fan. I respect it.
Realistic this week. You can't give them too much.
I put 1 week at a time.
I put a big money on that over. So
I'm telling you, Tuck, it's gonna get your spirits right when you watch that doc, man. It's gonna get you right.
It's just because one, right? It's on the road. It's in Philly. If it was at home, I'd probably be a little bit more optimistic. But Jalen Hurts doesn't lose at home. Nick Sirianni, I don't think he's lost a opener since he's been in Philadelphia, if my memory serves me correct.
Damn.
It's just a large uphill battle to battle for the Dallas Cowboys, who is a bunch of unknowns. So they'll battle. They'll test it out a little bit. But I think eventually they'll separate. Because that tush push and those 3rd and 4th down conversions will wear them down. And so that's where I'm at with it. So just keep it real. So we'll get it back. I'll get it back week 2 when I get the punch on KB, and then the Eagles come here to Kansas City, and I'm gonna call my big cousin, and he gonna drag Philly all across Arrowhead Stadium. And
I need somebody else to do your dirty.
Because I can't fight right now. I just sent my biggest weapon to Green Bay for a bag of chips. Like I can't fight right now.
It's gonna be sad. It's gonna be sad when Cowboys are 0-2. It's gonna be sad. It's gonna be sad.
I'm gonna take it out on KB week 2.
I don't know. Y'all gonna be really depressed and then go against the Giants. I'll forget about it.
Hey, we're gonna have them lined up for y'all. Tuck, y'all go ahead and handle that. After
They're gonna be seeing flashbacks when they see Abdul Carter. Oh my God, is that Micah? Oh my God.
Well, I was waiting for somebody to predict the upset. Nobody did. It's a clean sweep. Everybody's taking the Eagles to win the season opener on Thursday night. Let's see if we get another sweep for Sunday's interdivisional matchup between the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders. 1 p.m. Eastern in Washington. The Commanders were a 6.5 point favorite last I checked. Jay Tuck, I'll start back with you here. Commanders at home, looking to pick things up where they left off last year, going all the way to the NFC Championship. It starts against the Giants. What's your prediction for that week 1 matchup?
Yeah, I feel like it'll start off competitive, but eventually Washington will separate, especially at home. I think they win by a large margin. So I have the Commanders winning 34 to around 17.
Damn.
Commanders got them doubling up.
After what happened to them in the NFC Championship game, they're going to want to drag somebody, and you're just going to be that sacrificial lamb, unfortunately. But it'll be competitive for a little bit. You'll have some Abdul Carter will get a sack, right? Russell Wilson make a big throw, so you get some excitement out of it, KB. But ultimately, you're not getting a dub, bro.
Man, KB, Jay Tuck's got you as the sacrificial lamb, a doubling up by the Commanders, 34-17, says Jay Tuck. Simone, how about you? Who wins this one between the G-Men and the Commanders?
Definitely taking the Commanders. I do think it'll be a little bit closer than what Jay Tuck is saying. I'm gonna take Commanders. Like I'm gonna go 27, 16.
27-16, another double-digit victory.
Oh yeah, that still is double-digit, but yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't help yourself, Simone. It just is what it is. You couldn't get outside of that. It's okay. That's all right. It's still more respectable than what Jay Tuck had, and I have a feeling KB is going to come in with some respect at the end, but I know somebody right now who's going to give zero respect to the New York Giants, and that's Rio. Talk to me, Rio. What are these Commanders about to put on display Sunday afternoon?
I'm gonna give them some respect. I mean, it's NFC East. It's week 1.
You have to respect us. Yeah, you have to respect us.
They're coming off a preseason high. They're living in a fever dream because they went undefeated in preseason because August ball is relevant for the New York Giants right now in their developmental track. When you win 3 games last year, you're going to take a win no matter how you see it. Trust me, I've been there. I've been there before. But here's the problem. You're running into an offense that you cannot keep up with. And while it's going to be close early on, Washington's going to pull away and win 31-17. That is a 2-touchdown game. It will be close late in the second half, and Jaden's going to take your heart out. See, last year, the second time we played your team, we took a knee at the 1-yard line at the end, and we showed y'all mercy. We could have doubled up on y'all last year, but we let it look like a 1-possession game, even though we handled it the whole time. The first time y'all saw us, our offense was in developmental phases, and we kicked 7 field goals. We didn't punt it or turn it over once. This ain't that. This is the better version of what you've seen last year. 31-17, and the first of the MVP type season for JD5 happens when the Giants come to town. Russell Wilson, you better hope Andrew Thomas is on that field because it could get nastier than that.
KB, it's up to you. You're the last person standing in the way of 2 clean sweeps here in terms of our predictions. What happens Sunday? Giants, Commanders. Do you have the upset prediction for us, KB? I'm dying to hear it. Talk to me.
Just want to point out that in Rio's Commanders' magical season last season, they did beat the Giants both times, but by a combined score of only 8 points. So I am not afraid of the Commanders at all.
We took a knee on the 1-yard line.
Since I was in diapers, I've never been afraid of the Commanders. We had Daniel Jones in both games. I will point that out. You guys struggled to beat the Giants, as you guys always do every year, and Daniel Jones was at the helm. Now Daniel Jones is gone. We're free of that curse of DJ. Now we have, it doesn't even matter who else we have at quarterback as long as it's not Daniel Jones, and I feel like we have a better chance to win any game that we're in because constantly we're shooting ourselves in the foot because we have to limit our play calling, limit how we want to do things offensively because he was there. I have a feeling Brian Dable's going to do exactly what he wants to do with his offense. He's not going to be afraid to throw it downfield. That you can look at any game, even against the Commanders. the Giants are in these games and they're not throwing the ball downfield. We're getting away with throwing 5-yard hitches and getting downfield somehow. Now that he's gone, we're going to be able to do anything we want to do and use Malik Neighbors to his potential. Malik Neighbors, I forgot what his yards per reception was last season, but it was horrid. It's terrible. That's definitely going to change this year, and it's definitely going to start against the Commanders. So yeah, I'm not afraid of the Commanders at all. So we'll see what happens. But I have the Giants. The Giants are going to get back to whooping the Commanders' ass. No matter how good these teams are, we're back at it. Week 1, we're sending a message, 27-24, and the Giants win. That's right.
KB, I was hoping somebody was going to predict the upset. It was you. No Bundy.
Remember, you did this to yourself.
He was hoping you were going to do it, J-Tuck. He was saying, J-Tuck, come on, be delusional like them so I can smile. He needed a little something.
Cowboys will win. Yeah, if I knew KB was going to do that shit, I would have just said a lie here too. You know
listen, at least we have a history of just whooping the Commanders no matter how bad we are. It doesn't matter.
That Lifetime Achievement Award of pre-Jaden Daniels don't do nothing for y'all.
Listen. Nobody was going to be lying and stuff today. You know what I'm saying? My bad. So, yeah, I got the Cowboys winning 42-17 over Philadelphia.
Listen, all I can say is y'all barely beat us last year. Twice, barely, with Daniel Jones and without Abdul Carter. So just those factors alone.
My boy gloating over us taking a knee on the 1 and showing
and you got listen. What else do we have to be afraid of?
It would have been 34
My bad,
offensively. Listen. Offensively, what else do we have to like? Let's be honest, guys. What else do the Giants have to be afraid of offensively besides Jaden Daniels and Scary Terry? Like what else? Because you guys been toting around this name like Bill Krosky, Merritt. Whatever. He's running back 4, so I don't even want to hear that. So
you believe in depth charts week 1 of the NFL?
They're definitely not going to use him the majority of the time if he's RB4 in week 1. They're definitely not going to use him.
It's a committee, and in the committee, it don't matter.
He's going to have 3 carries. All right. He's going to have 3 carries. I mean, all right. I'm looking forward to Austin Eckler's old ass out there.
Grocery bagger Tyrone Tracy ran for almost 1,000 yards last year. My grocery bagger can do the same. He's shiftier.
We're different. We're
about to find out if they're different. We're about to find out.
6 wins, baby. Y'all back.
We are back. Rio, you said it.
And a sweep of the Commanders.
I'm dying to see it. We're only a couple of days away from getting our first taste of it, and it starts right where we're at, right here in the NFC East. We previewed the games. We predicted the games. Now all that's left is to sit back and watch what goes down, and where you're at right now is where we'll be again next week to recap what we saw. So on your way out the door, like button if you could, and subscribe button. That way you're notified of the recap episode of week 1 where we talk Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants. Commanders. Also on your way out the door, RotoWire, link in the description below. Sleeper, link in the description below. Both using the promo code RTS. And of course, become a Patreon member. That link is in the description below as well. That's going to do it for the week 1 preview episode. Enjoy week 1 of the NFL season, folks. We can't wait to see you next week. For J-Tuck, Simone, Rio, and KB, I'm your host, Z-Bot. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning into the NFC East Roundtable, and we'll see you on the next one.